You can stick to your copium. I'll stick to lovely bread carbohydrates, because that's what I'm feeling. You know, Josh, after this match, have a nice dinner, purely just bread, carbohydrates only, not nutritious whatsoever. You know, kind of like the dietary needs of maybe like a peasant back in the 1400s. But I'm going to be living off of that from this match right here, because I have a lot of faith in the Vancouver Titans. They've been looking pretty good, honestly. The meta that's kind of revolving around the Wrecking Ball and Tracer in particular has highlighted, I think, the strengths of this roster, and they've started to come alive at the tail end of it, especially when this always happens, Josh. How many times have we seen, both in sports and in esports as well, collectively, when a team has really nothing to play for, when they're out of the kind of the overall picture of the playoffs, they always just seem to play better. The weight and responsibility and pressure gets taken off of them a little bit, and they start to come alive. This is, I think, what we're witnessing here from the Vancouver Titans.
It happened last year with, or rather, I mean, the most notable example, actually, is the Washington Justice of 2019, when they just came alive in Stage 4. And I feel like we're seeing some level of that from the Vancouver Titans, especially with Dalton. Dalton's Tracer looked really good for them in their previous match, and it was enough to get them over the line and gave them a good win. Now, that wasn't against the most dangerous team in the world, though, Brent. We can't get whiplash from Vancouver here. They've been all right, but they haven't played against somebody that's had excellent results before. The problem is their opponents today flip-flop between being a team that can contest the best to a team that just is dreadful at various times throughout this season. The Washington Justice have been one of the most inconsistent teams we've had in the West. They sit in the middle of the pack, but that's not because they've just always been performing as some kind of gatekeeper team. Their level of consistency wildly oscillates depending on the kind of read they have on the meta, I think, and how prepared they are coming into the matches. This is anyone's game. I really do believe that. I think that the Justice could end up winning this series despite having not won a map so far in the Countdown Cup, or the Titans might just continue to wipe the floor. It all comes down to what the Justice bring to the table for me. The potential for this team, the ceiling for this team is so much higher than what they've demonstrated recently. We all know it. We've seen it before this season, and it just makes it tragic to watch and witness. Yeah, and I do feel some slight regret from my comment of calling the Washington Justice abysmal, but it's only because I have very high heights set for them. I want to see this team really perform at the highest level. We haven't been seeing that so far in the Countdown Cup. Today, right here, right now, it's a good opportunity to try and turn things around against the Vancouver Titans, a team that's 1-12, only got their first win the other day, and we're heading to Nepal. I want to see something from the Washington Justice. I want to see some initiative being taken as well, when they've just been so slow to react most of the time. Brent, the Washington Justice are dead even in terms of their map differential this season. They're 26-26. They're currently on a 9-map loss streak. So they were clearly doing well before this. You know, they were 8-4, and they had a +9 map differential. So this team has been able to do things, and it's not that they have a rougher strength of schedule right now. They haven't always been this bad. Their own form is poor, and when it's based on form, that can oscillate on a day-to-day basis. They might just turn up today and have figured something out.
God, that's an absurd statistic, that the Washington Justice have never lost to the Titans. 4-0. That was when the Titans, back in 2019, when they were just dominant.
Well, in 2019, they played against the Justice when Justice were in Stage 4, and they had Corey on Hangzhou that was just dunking on people.
Yeah, it's a great point. The match has already begun, by the way. The teams, straight away, you can see Mag taking a ton of damage there. Teru on the far up, it's being enabled in this role. Point still waiting to be unchecked right now, unlocked. Bit of capture going for him. Assassin looking for an opportunity here. Chantek actually taking a little bit too much damage there. Wasn't really the coordination on play, but they're just going to stop this cap from going anyway now. The damage coming across the point. Teru just needs to hunt for a couple of these rockets, but it is the Washington Justice who are going to get this first capture.
An Assassin playing towards the front line, looking for damage onto Chantek. I think that's absolutely the right play. The more that Assassin tries to pressure the back lines, I think the less he's going to get done. I want to see him as Sombra up there, pocketed in the front lines, putting pressure on Chantek and Fry.
Boss one's going to be a good stick there. The hack onto Fry Wiener as well means you can't really escape from it. Chantek taking a bit of damage. But the D-Mech onto Fry, it's a great opportunity for the Justice to really just win out this team fight, but they're struggling to really find the way that they want to actually approach this one now. In fact, the Vancouver Titans have been given a bit of an in. Dalton lays down that pulse bomb. Hack onto Terry with the nano boost means he can't really do too much, but he's going to get the rockets in. 8 up from the side. That's Fury. Great presence of mind, but Decay ends up falling anyway. 41% and counting. Fire and Chansik now going down. The Washington Justice investing ultimates to try and stall this team fight out, but eventually win it.
Nano being applied to Fury there turns him into a devastating force. Getting through onto Rolf as well, having already picked up 2-3 kills in that team fight. Just keeps the momentum going for the Justice. They're not finding enough value from the Pharah. Look at Teru's ult charge. He's only just getting up to his first barrage now. He's just not finding those targets, not putting pressure on the backline. An Assassin at any point here could use EMP. The EMPs recently from Assassin have been god-awful. But I think today's the day, Brent. He goes back to his former glory.
Oh, he's lining it up. He's lining it up. Yeah, here we go. Translocator up into the sky. That's the Fire Mercy locked down. Gonna be targeting Fire. Take him out. Dalton with the 2-piece. Okay, already checked one off the board. There we go. Breadsticks online almost. We're getting off to a great start here. Dalton potentially turning this team fight around as well. The Justice still holding on to it, 95%. Got to try and get this cap going though if the Vancouver Titans want to just hold on in this round. Rolf ends up falling. The barrage from Terra getting eaten up. That's Fury just with great defensive matrix management and tracking. They are going to flip this over and get the res off onto Rolf with the nano boost online. You can see he's considering investing it. There we go. Finally, Terra is going to be the recipient. They need to get some picks though. Again, Fury just eating up so many of these rockets, and Terra's really not getting enough done for it.
No, he's just not finding the shots. He's not applying pressure to the backline. Dalton got 2 kills. The backline was dead. Bebe and Tuba were not in this team fight. And yet the Justice have been able to delay it out, stretch it out, and find huge value from Decay. No one is shutting this guy down.
Dalton with a pulse bomb in hand. He needs to find something else here. You can see Fury just marking him the entire time. It's so difficult to try and get a good pulse bomb target off of this. The overtime's going to start burning down now. Mag with the mines, won't even need it most likely, just going to probably lay them down at a choke point to stop them from approaching. It's going to be the round going here to the Washington Justice.
And it's one-sided. The Justice never really looked like they were having an issue. One of our themes when the Justice played against the Toronto Defiant was that the Justice struggled when they were trying to retake the objective. When they were forced to be the initiators and try and get back in control. So if Titans can win this first fight over Sanctum, they've set themselves up for a great opportunity. I'm concerned though that they're not going towards this Orisicon. They're going to continue to try and play around the Pharah. And unless Dalton's going to pick up a long-range hit scan. If Dalton goes towards Hangzhou, or maybe something else that can apply a lot of pressure from far away, like a Soldier 76, then maybe the Titans will be fine. Okay, he picks up the Soldier. Yeah, this comp looks like it'll be alright, but Changsik will, I think, struggle to do too much. Just aiming to roll through them, or maybe just apply objective pressure.
Terra's got to try and land some of these rockets as well. It's the crux of the strategy, honestly, is just trying to play off of the back of the rockets that come through. That is Fried Winner off the map, I believe. No, well, taken out anyway. Yeah. Bit of a ignore going on there, but now we see the sleep dart as well onto Mag. Still, the way this team fight has gone, it's the Justice in control already with that 1-map lead. They're unable to get rid of Terra when he's playing out of this range. Lovely shots from Assassin. Multiple on target, but not enough to get the kill. Still enough to buy a bit of space and eventually flip the point in their control.
Decay is going to be harassing Dalton. You can see Assassin moving around the side here, but as Dalton gets off angles, he's going to be trying to take 1v1s against Decay's Tracer. I don't know who I would favor there. Probably Decay, even with the biotic field.
Yeah, the Titans really finding it hard to just get in position to try and set anything up here. Chansik on the Wrecking Ball is being marked the entire time. They have so much damage that's coming his way. Dalton on the side here. Might try and set up for the power driver. Comes down. Is there anything to try and synchronize it up? Almost getting pushed out of position there. Rolf ends up falling in the end. The nano boost comes down, but the shield blocking out. You can see the Deadeye just being channeled up there. That's Fire going down. And again, the point just to hammer home here. As much as I was talking smack on the Washington Justice, if they're in control of the point, they look good.
They do, yeah. That was a big thing that we've noticed from them recently. Even though they've been losing all of these maps, defensively, they've still looked fairly decent. That hasn't applied to every single map and every single team fight, but as a general theme, it's held fairly true. And so the Titans, all of the pressure is on them right now. They've got to disrupt the Titan. Oh, hello. That's a good first pick. But they are also pushing into Mag's Supercharger.
Yeah, not ideal still. Assassin falls as well. That's both the DPS gone. Decay's obviously on the trace, are going to be coming back in. Mag now using that Supercharger. Terror just needs to try and stay alive. The momentum carries him away, out of range of the Holt. Mag still, absolute raid boss here, just trying to survive. The Amp Matrix comes through as well. That's the damage. Bebe just peppering in the shots. Rolf falling means no more heals for them. 90% and counting. It's been a bit of a dismal effort here from the Vancouver Titans, just trying to get into the point in the first place. And it's going to be really a lost cause. Going out with a bit of a whimper there. Washington Justice with a dominant first map in terms of just not even letting the Vancouver Titans in for an attack.
Yeah, nothing in the tank there for the Titans. They've got to hit the drawing board in between map 1 and 2 and figure out what they want to do there. The Farah play from Teru was not cutting the mustard.
Yeah, an unfortunate series of events from the Vancouver Titans. Definitely not the same Titans as well that we saw from the other day here. The Justice, though, coming out obviously with something to prove big time. They want to be trying to get this win here today. A bit of an embarrassment to the franchise if they ended up losing it, so definitely pulling out all the stops. Going to go to a short break. On the other side of things, we'll see if the Vancouver Titans can return with one map of their own.
The Overwatch League is brought to you by TeamSpeak, the official voice supplier of the Overwatch League.
Treadlock now into the back line and gets with the both support.
Over the top, gets a double.
And here's a coalescence from the high ground for Rolfman. Wow, the timing on that one looks so good.
Really.
Filled with fire gets 2. That is crazy. Time and a great stick from Dal. That's 3 from him. Oh, no! He can go!
That's crazy, they make it work.
Welcome back from the break, everybody. Yeah, quite the flashy video. We'll see if it plays into this next map as well for the Vancouver Titans, because frankly, it was a bit of a poor effort against the Washington Justice. Still, definitely looking like a pretty good team. Seen some substitutions being made as well, as Terror is going to be out, Lynx are in, which opens up a couple of more opportunities for the Vancouver Titans here as we're heading on to our next map.
Incredibly important first map, though, for the Justice. That gets them on the board after a drought. That's 3 matches in a row where they haven't been able to take even a single map. 10-map loss streak on a row would have been devastating for the Justice, so their morale must be starting to improve at the very least, having secured Nepal really without a fight, no challenge. On the flip side, though, if you're a Vancouver Titans fan, it has been 16 hungry, starving weeks without carbohydrates. An enforced keto diet for all Canadians. And there's the serious potential here of back-to-back breadsticks. All we need to see is a pile driver elimination from Changsik. So it's not all over.
I was taking a look at it. Josh. Pile driver elim will secure it.
That's not
That's
bad.
what they're looking
He's starting
for.
on the ball. He's starting on the ball.
Do you think they tailor their strategies around that?
If I had to guess, probably not. But you never know. When you're 0-12, perhaps you need to search for inspiration in creative directions.
Weird spaces, yeah.
Yeah, weird places for sure.
So if that was replaced, that square was replaced with a nano blade kill, we'd be seeing them.
Oh yeah, we'd be seeing Lynx on Genji right now.
Ah, okay, okay.
I mean, this map is quintessentially Ball's End map. We haven't really seen other teams succeed with too much else. We've seen teams try to do it, but it definitely feels like the meta right now is favoring Ball's End. Tracer Sombra kind of compositions, and that's what we're going to see in a mirror. The Vancouver Titans were good when they played recently against the Boston Uprising, but Boston were running a lot of the Orisa comps, and Titans were charging past them and rolling them over. This is a much more fair mirror matchup. And Dalton's got his work cut out trying to keep the game in check.
Lynx almost going off the map there. Dalton really does have a hard task ahead of him, honestly, against Decay. A fired up Decay, nevertheless, as well. The guy was doing so much in the series the other day, only for it to be largely inevitable as they were tracking him down constantly, just marking him. He's fired up. He wants to prove himself. He wants to really just take this game under control. Chansik as well, just trying to get out of there. That's the pile driver coming through, but the damage... Decay having to use that recall. The hack almost coming out onto him. He could see it coming, but look at that tracking. Frag Wiener out of the mech did not stand a chance. Linksa might be next. Translocated just to get out of there, but already the damage is done. Dalton with the stick to try and turn things around onto Bebe. That's quite nice, but Decay with the beat down anyway. Shuts him down, in fact, make it a 2-piece. He might want even more, just trying to zip and zoop up onto the high ground, right onto the support line. Knows not to overstep himself, just going to be backing off to the rest of his team. The damage is done, they can't contest.
82% on Lynx's EMP is going to be a crucial element for them to be able to get back in if they want to touch. I thought Changsik was going for that.
Yeah.
Maybe he did too, but they decide not. 5 minutes in the time bank, and that was all set up from a bad engage from the Titans. They went for it with Changsik pile driving, Fried going in, but there was no follow-up. Dalton and Lynxa were not in position. It's such a positional meta right now. You have to set up for dives before you go for them. You can't rush things. Otherwise, your backline isn't in the right position. They don't have harmonies and Discord orbs on the right targets. Your DPS haven't been set up.
Yeah, and it feels like to me,
meta.
it feels like the Vancouver Titans just aren't used to setting up team fights against similar compositions. When they're playing against things like the Orisa, it's pretty easy to know what your target is. It's generally playing against stationary comps. Dalton getting taken out by Bebe is less than ideal. Dalton is really the player that you're looking for to create these openings, and Transcendence is used by Rolf.
He just got spooked by Assassin, I think. We didn't catch it on camera, but that's the only reason you use a panic trance like that. Assassin's coming back in for round 2.
There's the Assassin EMP. This time it's quite good, but the peel is there. It's onto a bunch of targets. Rolf eventually starting to, heal back up here. There is no follow-up for them. The Vancouver Titans, they peel effectively. Now the rally re-engage comes out. The Justice were not ready for that EMP. It was a good one as well. Assassin caught it onto the backline, but they just couldn't collect the kill. Still, Dalton gets that armor pack. Used against him, in fact. It was Decay who received it. Excuse me.
There's another one of the classic use EMP, immediately lose the team fight afterwards, because no one was ready to follow up. It looks like...
Is that on the breadstick chart?
I don't think it's on the breadstick chart, no. But Assassin uses his EMP there because he knows the Transcendence has been forced. He has a good opportunity to get onto both players in the backline. But like I'm saying, Brad, you need your team to be ready to follow up on it. Otherwise, it's not a good EMP, it's a bad one. And so these communication issues do tend to be the problem with Justice. They're not really rearing their heads so much in this match, though. Having said that, Vancouver have a good opportunity now to keep this snowball going. Wolf getting up to another Transcendence. Okay.
That's good. Straight up, there you go, the EMP. Yeah, EMP in close quarters. Dalton was in position. Decado, he's answering back. That's a pulse bomb straight into the kill into Rolf as well. He's got Chansik in his sights. Chansik just trying to roll straight through them, but the tracking is great. Backed up health pack, he's going to have to receive a bit of healing from elsewhere. A nice attempt on the Vancouver Titans, but I guess the positioning where they were taking that team fight was so deep in the tunnels that it just made them susceptible when they were just pulled all the way forwards.
And look at this counterplay by Decay. He doesn't really have anyone else on the team that he's setting this up with. It's just him, 1v2 against the supports. Fire jumps on top of it like he's trying to save Rolf from the grenade.
Yeah, it truly is just Decay with the Zug brute force performance.
Yeah.
Just finding opportunities, dragging the team over the finish line here. Mag, you can see him trying to set up something in the back line. But the team just seems to be winning it. I mean, they were losing the team fight, but no one's contesting.
The team fight is happening on checkpoint C here. A little strange. There's a pile driver elim, but it's from Mag. I haven't been keeping track of it, though. I don't know whether Chansik has got one in the meantime, but we'll get the updates to you. I don't think it's happened yet. But yeah, the Titans are just getting swept away right now. 3-minute time bank. This is the most difficult area of the map to push, but the Titans' defense has not been particularly solid. Decay's been able to run through the back line, overwhelm Dalton, just bully his way through. And when Decay can do that, what need do you have for excellent team coordination? Here comes Assassin, another EMP.
Almost a good shield bash there from Fire, just off the mark, ever so slightly, but the Justice this time, they're in position to follow up on the EMP. Redemption. 2 kills going their way, yeah. Finally see some signs of life actually out of it as well. And that coordination is what was missing from the Justice, the initiative to be taken when they're on the attacking side of things. Clearly trying to switch things up and improve upon some of the mistakes they've been making. Still, the Vancouver Titans are back into this one now with the rally engage. See a later rally though by Chuba. Post bomb, that's a stick from Dalton, but only onto the tanks. Fury going to be eating that one up. Healthy enough with the EMP. They need to try and get that DMEC. They will get it. Bebe also packed up for the moment, but has that rally armor to keep him healthy. Looking for a little bit more. You can see Lynx is just combing, seeing if he can hunt down one of the targets. Gets the neutral pack off, but that's going to be the Transcendence now. Self-destruct on the cart, pushing them all the way. The Justice struggling to coordinate and find a singular target. Multiple team fights taking place all over the bloody place, but they're still getting the better of it.
They are. Assassin ran into the backline and just 1v2'd Rolf and Fire again. Rolf and Fire are having a really tough time staying alive. Wolf with the trans, going to try and block the objective, blown away by the self-destruct, but he has bought time.
Yep, still back onto this one. Chansik rolling forwards, but immediately blown up. Just the damage is way too much with the Discord Orb on them. Rolf just needs to try and stay alive as all this is going on. Dalton trades 1 for 1. A bit of a spawn advantage for them now. The Justice could get chewed up here. Could get stopped just shy of the mark, but they've got to do their best to try and finalize these kills. Tried the Reinhardt as well, just trying to stay alive. He's been around for quite some time, and that will be the eventual push. 1 minute 13 seconds the Justice are going to claim at the end of it.
A stellar offense, and all of the issues that the Justice has previously had in this stage for the Countdown Cup appear to have flown out the window. Decay's been able to have huge impact, and he's got follow-up from the rest of his team at times, but it's not like he's been shut down by any means. Michelle is not in the server, like Jonathan reminded us. And also, Assassin's been able to get some good EMPs off. He's also been able to pressure the backline effectively, where you saw him just being so scared of attacking backlines in the past. And all right, Rolfenfire are not the best we have in the league, but they're just kind of getting run over right now. You'd expect them to put up more resilience against a solo Tracer or a solo Sombra.
Yeah.
I'm not convinced yet that the Justice are coordinating better and like approaching this with a better strategy and team play, but the brute strength just seems enough to be able to overpower the Titans right now.
It seems like brute force to me personally. I'm looking at like essentially they're not syncing anything up. It's Assassin and Decay individually. Sometimes they sync up stuff. Don't get me wrong, it's not that it's been missing the entire game, but a large portion of their opportunities that have been gained by Washington has been Decay 1v2ing, Assassin 1v2ing. And typically the backline of the Titans just kind of falling over against it. Not really putting up much of a defense.
Well, now we get to see the Justice defending. They're normally better on defense, at least they have been recently, but this series seems to be flipping expectations a little bit if you'd only been watching the Justice during the Countdown Cup. I mean, having said that, the Vancouver Titans themselves, only the recent recipients of their first win of the season. Going to try and escort this backline up top through the tunnel. See if they can get angles, put Discord Orb on Fury, pressure him out there, set up a nice position for Rolf to get a sightline.
And if you're not going to win through brute force in terms of like mechanically matching up, you need to have the coordination. You need to be coordinating up power drives. Chansik and Dalton need to be just coming together. The Discord Orbs need to be on the right targets. The backline needs to be defended. The whole team needs to really come alive.
Well, there we go.
To try and battle against this. Yeah, and Fury gets debacked. It's a good start.
Yeah, hacked and discorded. The backline just crumbles again. The backline is obviously a crucial target, right? So it's not that Rolf and Fire are making mistakes with their positioning in a lot of these scenarios, but the Justice's strategy is to bully Rolf and Fire as they're rotating into good positions. And here you see, just as they're trying to take the avenue underneath Big Earls, they really want to be, that is one of the areas where they're perhaps a bit fully positioned, because I'd like to see them swing out a little further towards the ramp there, where they can get sightlines up on the high ground. Been watching a lot of Philadelphia Fusion VODs. Alarm and Funny Astro's positioning is superb in this meta.
Yeah, another team that hopefully, I mean, a lot of Fusion fans hoping they're going to come alive towards the end. Sure. Would be quite entertaining. They've had a rough time of things, honestly. Chansik going down there. Decanes are committing the pulse bomb. It doesn't actually get anything, but it does push them back towards the rest of the team, and they can just collapse onto them now. Only 2 minutes for the Vancouver Titans to try and create something. They do have the EMP that's coming up, along with Dalton's pulse bomb, so opportunities to try and make it work.
And again, that's a ton of pressure happening onto Rolf and Fire as they're rotating around the back corner of Big Earls. So they need Changsik, Dalton, Fried to actually put some offensive pressure on so that the Justice don't have all of this space to just crush their backline. You need to create some distraction for Rolf and Fire to get into a good position. You can't just try and have 6 people peeling for them. You just give too much space to the Justice.
Chansik on the line. Chansik with the power drive. There's the EMP as well. Dalton. Kill him to Tuba. Great way to set things up here.
Yeah, now their backline has gone for... The backline's gone for a totally different rotation. You see how Rolf and Fire are positioned up on the top left. Now Fire has got to keep Rolf alive, and he does a good job of it this time around.
That's a classic Assassin solo EMP, just trying to take on the world there. And it was good defending from the backline. The Vancouver Titans still staying in this one. They didn't lose too many of their players. They can absolutely break through this defense now. Hello. Pulse bomb, that's going to be whiffing right off to the side. This will be an inevitable capture here. And the Justice, okay, well, they had a lot of opportunities there, but again, there was no coordination for Assassin's EMP.
That's absolutely true, but I do want to give a bit of credit to Titans as well, trying something different. The last 3 team fights, they tried to rotate their backline on the bottom right underneath Big Earls and try and take that ramp. This time around, they went through the cave and took the top left instead. And the Justice didn't respond to it, didn't make a mid-fight adaptation.
You can tell Dalton wants to go for something. He's got the Discord Orb marking him now, which gives him a lot of vision, baby, pushed out. That's Dalton as well, just hunting him down, pushing him into the positioning of that self-destruct, and they've set it up. The Vancouver Titans showing a bit of the signs what got them their first win. Being able to coordinate those plays with the self-destructs was quite tasty in the past.
Yeah, that was a really nice version of it there. Lynx got the hack on Tuba as well that just set Dalton up for a kill. Didn't even have to use his pulse. If Dalton finds a good opportunity for a pulse now onto Bebe or Tuba, that could be huge. Look at him skulking around the back here.
Yeah, they have no idea where he is. That's no shield bash, but that's wonderful by Fury. Linkser falls as well. Just the presence of mind from Fury as well, protecting their backline. Too good, too good. Unable to really find that one. Could have been a huge pick for them. They've taken a ton of damage, so the K needs to play for a couple of heals. Backing off around the corner. Assassin goes down. It's the 1-for-1, but Chansik's missing now from the Vancouver Titans. They don't have the Wrecking Ball to really just open things up for them. That pulse bomb, though, that's beautiful. Just going to be cleaving and bursting right through that Transcendence healing. Not enough.
Yeah, that's pretty enormous. Lynx are getting pressured here as well. Has to leave. EMP used.
Assassin?
I mean, I'm gonna give Assassin the benefit of the doubt there that it was probably onto Rolf as he died. I don't have a clue though. That's another one of those head scratches from Assassin, because you had already won the team fight. You've pushed away the Sombra. You've already killed the ball. You're about to kill the Zen. What is the need for that EMP? You've opened the door for the Titans to come back in. Linkser is licking his chops right now. There's nothing that can stop him.
Yeah, the Vancouver Titans just need to show a bit of that coordination that they've had in the past. It's a long flank approach. This is good from the Washington Justice, though. Actually seeing a proactive play. Yeah, they're taking the initiative, actually, on the defense here. South Destruct comes in.
But Linkser has to not use this. Oh, I'm not sure they have the follow-up with Changsik dead. Can anyone else end up getting an advantage in the team fight? Yeah, they've burnt down Mag. Okay, that's a huge opening for them. Oh, that is on a knife's edge.
Chansik got back into the fight pretty quickly on the Wrecking Ball, but that was risky to try and go off of the back of that one. They forced the K back as well. He has to play with the rest of the team now. Power Drive comes in. I don't think that's going to be connecting. Pulse Bomb, though, that is good. Onto Chuba, laid down. I don't think that was even a stick, but it got the remake as well. K just standing still. Oh my goodness, Dalton. All right, just pulling out all the stops, and that's going to be some time on the bank. Vancouver Titans now pushing into checkpoint C. They have been gifted this one, honestly, as well. Off the back of this, I'm not going to completely downplay it. It has been pretty good from them. They've been coordinating up nicely. A lot of plays coming out.
Yeah, offensively, they've looked decent, but there's been some big questions about the Justice in terms of their B defense there, especially with eyes looking towards Assassin, who is building up towards another EMP. Now, Rolf has Trance. A hack on that would be enormous.
Oh, wow,
He just responds with the pulse. And Rolf doesn't want to use it. If you use your Transcendence there to try and keep the team fight alive, Assassin has a free EMP, a free MP.
60 seconds.
Frem, nice Frem.
Frem, yeah. Hopefully not a Memp. We don't want to see any more Memps.
No more Memps, please.
Yeah, please, no more Memps.
Assassin.
A lot of damage onto Assassin. He's on 1 health. What is going on here? Link's just spraying him down. What is occurring in Narnia? What's happening here?
Linkser must have broken. He must have broken the Translocator, surely, and taken the 1v1 fight. They know that Assassin has EMP, so that is a crucial find.
Good play by Linkser if that's the case. The Vancouver Titans now. Time rolling deep into checkpoint C. Ultimates almost online for them. Assassin, they notice EMP is online. A lot of spamming. You can see Dalton just checking every single angle that he could be coming from here. It's crucial that they mitigate this EMP.
Here he comes.
And he's hunting him
knows
down,
where Rolf is.
Rolf's just trying to hide around the corner. Okay, just scares him into using the Transcendence. Didn't even go for the EMP. I mean, it's a safer play, but now it's going to be basically a free EMP. Comes down, connects onto them. Power Driver into the back. A bit of disjointed play, but the Justice have got the pick. Chansik goes down. Now the counter EMP. Linkser lets it go. Dalton with the pulse bomb comes through, but Bebe gets the kill anyway. Still winnable here for the Vancouver Titans, but they got to pull out everything. The Justice are coming back in with the spawners. The DPS players are coming back in as well. Assassin's still alive. Just needs to try and survive. Translocator to try and dodge this one. He does dodge it. Has to try and touch this one. Straight back into spawn. The South Destruct was good to clear them away. Chansik, though, still alive. Now we see the rally from Chuba as he's coming back out of the spawn, giving his team the necessary heals they need to just really stop them just short. A tragic finish here for the Vancouver Titans. They're unable to keep this one going in the overtime. So the Justice are going to be taking map number 2.
It looked so good for the Titans there in those final moments, and you can see the disappointment on their faces. That's the unfortunate part, Brent, of starting to have hope, is that it can be crushed. And this match is looking a little like it. The Justice have quite firmly quashed any doubts that they would be going on a 4-match loss streak here in the Countdown Cup. Up 2-0 in this, they're going to require a reverse sweep from the Titans.
Yeah, it's going to require just absolute magic on the Titan side of things, but anything is possible if you believe in the carbohydrates, and I certainly do. We're going to be going to a short break. On the other side of things, of course, we're going to be seeing how this series is going to be continuing or concluding. So you don't want to miss it. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back in just a few.
Double kill. Ever get that feeling?
Over 2 million picks have been made so far this season, and a new tournament means a new bracket is, of course, unlocked. Can you get a perfect bracket for the Countdown Cup? Well, go to pick'em.overwatchleague.com to submit your picks for this week's matches. Obviously coming at the tail end of this one, so, you know, definitely look out for next week as well.
Yeah, you want to know how many people thought that the Vancouver Titans would win 3-0 against the Boston Uprising?
How many?
0.7%. Less than 1% of Overwatch League fans, according to a tweet from John Spector, the commissioner. So there you go.
There you go.
No one saw it coming, and yeah,
no,
I wonder what the balance was for this game. I really
I put down 3-0 Vancouver.
Did you really?
Yeah, I did. I mean, I was gassed up from the carbohydrates, the breadsticks. I was hyped.
Sure.
You know, I was on the train. You know, I was like, okay, let's see how far this can go. You know, clearly, I mean, just a bit of a foolish error on my part, honestly, forgetting that the Washington Justice have decay.
Yeah, I think this was a little bit of a tough game to call, though, from the outside, judging how the Justice had been performing up until then. But they're managing to make it work so far in the series, up 2-0. The Titans are not out of it yet, though.
Of course.
They certainly have not looked... They haven't looked like they've had that many opportunities to win the map so far. But on Route 66, they were close. That final team fight, if they're able to complete it, and they go around the second time, maybe they can adjust some things and come out with a victory. It's the problem for me, though, in trying to find the victory path for the Titans is that here on Anubis, it's again just Mag and Decay. Mag can play Winston, Decay's on Tracer, and they should be able to have enormous impact. We just watched the Dallas Fuel play this map against Atlanta, and Sparkle and Fearless went crazy. I think that this is going to be a real challenge for the Titans to get back in this series.
It's difficult as well. When some of the best looks that we've seen from the Titans have revolved around a lot of the Wrecking Ball play, it's going to be hard. Terry obviously playing close here, just trying to build up the EMP. He's getting a bit of that spam damage and is going to return with the rest of his team. But yeah, ultimately we're seeing mirror compositions from both these teams. All about the ultimates, all about that rotation, the EMPs, the primals, the nano boosts. Trying to build up and take damage without actually losing your life is the real challenge of these compositions, I think, as well, to build up those ultimates.
Yeah, you can see both nanos sat around the 50% mark as teams are just poking and prodding. Decay's found his way into the back.
Yeah, he's just jumped straight in. And he's killed the translocator. And now he's going to start playing a point. This is going to pull attention from the Vancouver Titans back towards the point. They either choose to ignore it or go in. The Washington Justice, though, that's a massive Bionade from Rolf. Any sort of follow-up going for it. Decay has to back off. Does not have the recall. 50 health, has to return to the rest of his team. Now we see the nano boost on both of the Winston players. A sleep dart misses. That would have been great if it connected onto Mag just to lock him up, but the stun might be good enough. Yes, indeed it is. They chase him down. Mag not going to be getting anything done with this one. Chansik also surviving. Bit of an attempt now being made to try and turn this one as Decay did commit that pulse bomb into it, but Dalton's got one of his own. Doesn't need it though. Chasing down the back line, the recall's going to be used here. Finally going to be offloading it to get the D-Mech onto Fury. The Vancouver Titans on the defense. A great attempt.
Yeah, they've been doing well so far. You can see how much the Justice are relying on Decay. He manages to zip through the back, create a distraction, play the point, kill the translocator. Now he's just won a 1v1 against Dalton, who overstepped himself a little. I mean, calling it a 1v1, not quite accurate, as the rest of the Justice team was all right there. Assassin, that's a huge EMP.
Yes, a great EMP. Where is the follow-up now? Need to get something done. What is Rolf? It's Decay just finding that kill, essentially, with the hack as well. Nothing to really threaten him with the Bionade or anything else, but Decay, I think, is the only thing they're relying on right now. The spearhead and the spear handle, I suppose. He's just a full weapon. He's just trying to go for everything. They're letting him loose. You have an EMP, just go wild, I guess.
Yeah, he definitely has resources, sure, that the rest of the team gives him. But in that team fight, I don't know. Maybe I'm nitpicking here, Brent. But the Washington Justice, after they use the EMP, Mag goes in one direction, Decay goes in another, and Fury goes in a third different direction. It doesn't seem like they're performing an incredible ballet when they're attacking in terms of their coordination. It is still pretty scrappy, but they're making it work. The Titans, we have seen aggressive defenses on Anubis be so effective. That's what Terry was going for.
They scouted him though. They know that that's a window of opportunity. They're not going to be going for an aggressive EMP. What a stick! Rolf's gone the fadeaway off to the side. The tiniest of angles for it. The EMP's committed anyway. Terry knows they need to try and turn this one. Nano boost. Now on Mag. Yeah, I mean, he gets to chase down there onto Fried. Honestly,
Oh yeah, sorry, I mean the EMP. I mean the EMP got
right.
Matt got the nano, they popped Rally as well, the Justice absorbed it, but Matt goes down before getting the Primal. Is that going to hurt them?
Possibly. Nano boost committed onto Dalton. EMP doesn't connect onto Dalton. Dodged it around the pillar. Is that a 0-man EMP? Didn't find the mark. Assassin now being
Not the
pressured there.
Not the
Not the
Assassin Memp.
Not now, not here. 2 ticks for them. Self-destruct from Fried as well, just to push them away. I have no idea how I got Bebe. I mean, that was just...
Pile driver. Changsik came in from around the side and got the pile driver to stun them all in the air. That was actually some pretty good coordination from the Titans tanks.
The setup was there. 2 ticks for the Justice is what they gained from it. Changsik also switching back to the Winston as well. What is Justice going to do here? They do have the Primal Rage onto Mag to try and create some space and openings as well. Looking at Decay with this Pulse Bomb. I mean, they have relied on him so much. He's actually blinked in without notifying them because he just hopped over the point, so he didn't contest it at all. Now he's going to start to pull them back.
No way.
He's going to get a back cap.
Who's that?
Okay, they're pulled back to try and contest this. I think Mag may have actually assisted by pushing them back on with the Primal Rage. I'm not too sure.
Well, that's a very weird scenario. Teru's so far ahead in EMP charge, they could opt to play aggressive here. EMP, Nano, all available. The Nano onto Changsik would be devastating. Also build up another Primal. Titans have options, but they're not really posturing that aggressively.
Yeah, it's definitely waiting around. Mag now with the Nano Boost, though. Into the backline. Nice coordination with Decay. Actually syncing that one up and a Pulse Bomb as well. I mean, that's just flexing at that point. Probably getting that kill anyway. EMP will mean that Fried unable to really do much here. This is looking like an inevitable capture.
Certainly is. Good execution from the Justice, and that's why we normally see teams play aggressive on defense. You don't want to give the opponents that much space. If you give Justice time and space, they look like a top-level team. It's only when they're pressured and harassed where the mistakes start to showcase the cracks in the armor. That's another good attack. Every map so far has had the Justice on offense looking clean.
Initiating match.
Yeah, which is the major thing that we were criticizing them for. It's the main
Absolutely.
reason why a lot of people were predicting the Titans off the back of their win as well, is that it was looking like the Titans were, at par, potentially the better team. Yeah, it seems like the Justice have clearly spotted at least part of the weakness, and this honestly is quite typical for every tournament cycle of the Justice. It feels like they do heat up towards the end of it. This time, a little bit too late, obviously. But yeah, they do tend to just come alive a little bit towards the end of the tournament cycle. They discover how a meta, or where part of their issues are really lying, and how to approach them and solve them.
Yeah, but it does often happen too late for them to be able to get into the stage finals. The Countdown Cup is off the charts right now. The Justice are not going to be going to the Countdown Cup, and that means that what are they playing for? Well, they're in the play-ins is what they're going for, seeing if they can get towards that championship, but they would have to be dramatic improvements. One win over the Titans here today is not going to convince me that the Justice don't have a lot more work to do. Okay, let's see what the attack from the Titans looks like.
Yeah, we'll see with their composition here.
I'm disappointed that Changsik is not on ball.
Yeah, the Changsik ball is one of the shining lights, I think, actually, for the Titans, and how they sync up with
about the pile driver element.
Well, that's also a disappointment. I don't know if they've obtained it yet. Big Bionade from Bebe. Onto 3, that's going to push them back. But yeah, I'm not sure. Do they have the breadstick? Have they achieved?
I don't believe they have.
I'll have to double check. I like how I said breadstick as well. The singular breadstick.
Singular.
Split between the masses of Canada.
Changsik has taken a Bionade here. Can't get any healing. Okay, Rolf just in time. And Decay has also fallen. Probably a hack there, though I didn't catch it.
This
now
is
Rolf
real
has
nice.
Nano.
Baiting in the aggression coming through. Rolf does have the Nano Boost. Does he want to try and use it now? Look at the pressure into the backline. You've got to try and heal up Fire, but falling so low there. Had the Bionade applied to him, so couldn't get the heals. Now the Nano Boost comes in. Great
whip shot.
Pushes him back. Counter engage comes through, and the EMP, the Justice. They're coming back in. Biting right down onto them. Decay with the 2 pieces. Make it 3. He wants to go for the 4th. Has to recall away, though. Got to respect the Shield Bash at the end of the day.
That's gorgeous, though. The coordination there from the Justice was top tier. They just allowed the Titans to push towards them with that nano. Whip shot from Tuba stops that spacing. And look at this response. Let's watch the replay from Decay's point of view.
Yeah.
Assassin just gets EMP and uses it immediately. The timing is so good. Nano onto Mag and Decay just cleans everything up. That's the kind of team fight you want to see from the Justice more often.
And most importantly as well, they were under pressure the entire time. That's usually when you see the biggest mistakes out of the Justice, when they're not making those type of plays. We are seeing them slowly evolve. At the tail end of the Countdown Cup, Engage comes into the back there. Terror uses the EMP, catches onto Tuba and Fury, but the Engage is already there. Dalton trying to turn it, the Pulse Bomb not going to be finding anyone. And the Justice with all the kills necessary to just close out that attack attempt of the Titans.
Yeah, this has really been the Decay show. When you think about Vancouver's 3-0 win over Boston, their first of the season, Dalton came alive in that series. He was, in certain fights, just putting the Titans on his back. He started this series pretty well, got that double Pulse Bomb in, but he's been pretty quiet since then. He is going to have to pop off in these next couple of team fights.
Oh, there's a nano boost. Mag just drops down onto them as well. Sleep down onto Chansik. That's going to be the nano and the primal. Essentially wasted. Completely taken out of the fight. A hack onto Mag. He did return back to the rest of the team, but Chansik, yeah. I mean, what a huge play from Bebe.
Bebe's purple towards the back. Decay has gone in a little too high.
EMP, no follow-up from this, surely. No one's actually here. Into the back line. That was, I think, a sleep down onto Bebe, locking him up. Dalton with the post bomb as well. The Vancouver Titans can absolutely come back into this one. What a weird series of events there. The Justice looking like they were in prime position to just get that full hold. The completion. There's for the taking, but a couple of slapdash ultimates just thrown out by the Justice without the necessary players.
And they've let that defense slip through their fingers. Decay does try to do a little too much, I think, for this team at times, but can you blame him when you see the value he's been able to get on a regular basis? It's very strange. Prime candidate potentially, though, for the Ewing effect. The Justice. Here he comes.
Pulse bomb off to the side.
Nearly blew himself up.
Comes through, and yeah, Terro ends up going down in the back line as well there. Building up this nano boost. Bebe does have it, but no pressure on the Justice to use it here. Probably going to be looking to try and get another forward. I would hope at least a bit of a forward hold of this defense. The nano boost to try and pressure out this EMP onto Terror would be a great way to pull some of the ultimates out of Vancouver Titans when they are getting set up right now. There's the nano boost onto Mag. Bashed up. That's Dalton though in the back line with that pulse bomb and bit. Okay, Mag has to use this primal rage just to stay alive with the Bionade applied to him. He couldn't get healed up. Has to back off to the team. Decay goes down as well. This is the Titans' time to shine, and they still have ultimates to burn.
The nano goes onto Dalton here. I'm not sure whether that was intended. Changsik's about to get up to his primal as well. They're bullying people up the point, and there's the first tick.
They can't do anything with that nano boost. I mean, Chansik does have the primal built up, so maybe that was the logic behind it, but Decay's back in with Fried going down. Chansik has to try and get something big with this one. Chopping and changing across the point, just trying to find a target or two already.
Who's there to touch?
Is anybody going to be able to touch this? That was almost a Charlie Niner. A classic affair if we've ever seen one. Takedo still in it. Has the pulse bomb dropped down into the back. Not connecting. Chansik still up and alive. Getting a couple of picks for them, but the Titans just don't have the firing power. Going to be going down to the eventual spawners here of the Justice. The Justice were so close to losing that.
3% away. But it felt like milliseconds from slipping out of their control. And that attempt at an aggressive defense was horribly executed from the Justice. Really good response from Titans, in particular Fire popping off his rally and peeling for Rolf effectively. And now the Titans have an opportunity. They can try and come back in here with EMP, with Nano. The Justice want to jump aggressive again? It almost looks like they're posturing for it with Mag. Here they go.
Yeah, there we go. Nano off to the side, cuts across. He's found the angle. Nice boops though, but he ends up wasting the sleep dart. Mag, 5% away from this primal rage, and that is what he's looking for here. And you can see the pressure they're trying to put onto Teru as well. There we go. Bionade onto Mag as well, just battering them into the corner. Mag has found one of his targets. Can he get the kill? Not quite. Fire is healthy. The primal doesn't really get too much done. Now ultimates from the Titans. They have the rally to try and push past through the main choke point. Decay holding onto the pulse, lays it down off onto the side, won't get any sort of connection, but does a bit of damage. Dalton's turn now to return a bit of fire. Not getting anything. They pour. They didn't connect onto the point. They didn't touch.
I like the jingle at the very least. And these aggro defenses are pretty atrocious from the Justice. Their game plan, Bren, is for Assassin to get into the Titans backline and hack Rolf so that he can't use the Nano or the Bionade to heal himself up. The idea there being that the Ana will be an easy dive target for Mag when he's Nano boosted. In theory, makes sense. But the rest of the Justice don't commit properly, and Decay isn't shooting the same targets as Mag. And so you get this horrible scenario where Justice still have a passive backline. They don't have Bionades in there. They just have one nanoed Winston. It's this messy compromise between being safely surrounded by the comforting walls of Checkpoint B on Anubis and then trying to actually go aggressive. And it's just nonsense. It's a compromise that hurts both ideas. Decay can't get on the point towards the end there either. And the Justice have allowed a window for the Titans to get back into this game.
A window that they can absolutely take here. With a minute on the clock now. It's kind of difficult for them to try and find their footing. And a minute isn't a lot of time. But it is doable. See him trying to get him for free. Sleeves out onto Fried. That's not ideal. The bubble's laid down just to block and eat up a ton of that damage, but Chansek's not going to have that for the engagement, so they're being pushed off. Down to the final 35 seconds of this push attempt. Now they're going to try and put pressure onto them, so trying to take control of this top platform that you can see them jumping onto, but that's a hack onto Fried, and that should be a D-Mech. It is indeed. Still, Decay goes down. Maybe being set up there. Nice defense, actually. Fire with the shield placement. 17 seconds left now for them to try and get some pressure onto the point. It's going to be probably an overtime push by the time they actually get onto this. What a Bionade. Fire and Chansik, they can't even touch, by the way. Nobody's actually putting any pressure onto this one. It might be all onto Dalton. 3 seconds remaining. Is anybody going to be able to touch this one? Finally, they do in the last possible moment. It has to be Dalton, but they've already lost too many players. It was such a good start for the Titans. With Decay missing, it was the exact opening they needed, yet they weren't able to capitalize.
It's an EMP at the end from Teru. Catches 5, but there's no chance that that is good enough. Heartbreak for Titans. Best they can do here is a draw. That really did look like a great opportunity. I'm right with you, Brent. Assassin and Bebe were closer to their ultimates, so even if that fight goes long, maybe it gets turned around by Justice with a Nano and an EMP. But Titans didn't even push the Justice to the edge. They couldn't take the space once they got the pick on Decay. Dalton was asleep, and the Titans got stalled a little, and then as they tried to push forwards, Bebe hit a Bionade, and it just all snarled up the offensive movement of Vancouver.
Yeah.
Now they've got to hold for 2 minutes and 11 seconds in order to force us onto the next map. That would be King's Row as well.
God, brutal. Brutal for them. Brutal but doable in a weird way. I can definitely see it. I've got my telescope out. I'm looking at it.
Yeah. Can you see the draw? If you remember what happened last time, when the Justice were attacking, they got Decay all the way around the back. They were trying to apply point pressure with Decay, seeing if he could get picks in the back line, break the translocator coming out from Teru, that kind of stuff. But the Justice ended up just cracking it through by getting in the front door eventually with their ultimates.
Well, here we go. 2 minutes for the Justice to get a single tick, and that's going to close out this series. The Vancouver Titans, they need this draw to continue it, to try and keep that dream of the reverse sweep alive. Damage being done. Decay already forced out of that one. Oh, that's a... The sleeping Tracers all over the place with the Justice. Oh, they're the ones that get the kills first. Woken up, just couldn't capitalize off of it in time. And one by one, the Titans topple over. Looking more like a field mouse than a Titan at the moment, but that's the Justice at the end of the day, getting the third map under their belt, and that's the series as well, as GGs in the chat are exchanged.
And there's the Justice coming out with a response. People were doubting them with good reason after a 9-map loss streak. But the Justice fire back, proving that they are not the weakest team in the West right now, despite the fact that they technically were heading into this game. They put Vancouver to bed. It was a short stint of a winning streak, if you can put it like that. Vancouver getting 1 and 12. But the good part here for the Titans, Bren, is that they have managed to achieve back-to-back breadsticks. So they have that going for them. They did manage to get it with, I think it was 15 final blows via melee kills, and then also FRD got a Pilot Diva elimination, something like that.
Back-to-back.
Anyway, listen, do we care how it happens? Don't get the pizza lawyers involved. Just breadsticks have been achieved.
I suppose, that's the commonality, them and the San Francisco Shock, back-to-back champions, when it comes to the breadsticks and Overwatch League titles. People have been putting the San Francisco Shock and the Vancouver Titans in conversation since early 2019, so why not continue that comparison? Exactly. It's a lovely narrative. We're just going to stretch it all the way out. Honestly, though, the Washington Justice, they definitely needed this one when everybody was doubting them. Our player of the match, there's one individual. I made reference to it many times, but it really was just... at times it felt like the only one. And it was Decay with this approach as well, almost single-handedly taking matters into his own hands time and time again. A real force to be reckoned with on the battlefield. But he is going to be our player of the match.
Had an insane performance today as Tracer. Moments like this where he's just 1v2 in the back line of the Titans, he opened up so many opportunities for the rest of his team. And, alright, the Justice don't have the most insane coordination, but at times they pull it out with pushes like this, where Decay and Mag are working together and just ripping open their opposition. That's what we want to see more of, for the Justice to develop and play. The more they've kind of pushed towards this play-in battle that they've got looking forwards at the end of the season. His stats are also ridiculous. Never punished. 2.3 deaths per 10.
Never punished, really. That does kind of put it in a nice little picture frame, I think. That final map, we did see Decay honestly being shut down a little bit as well. There was sleep darts applied to him. Dalton maybe one, a couple of the individual 1v1s. There were moments of it happening, but too late, honestly, for that as well. And the clean sweep. We've got an interview with Decay as well coming up from that one. And that's going to do it for the matches, actually, as well. On the other side of things, of course, we've got that interview in the Watchpoint post show as they're going to be breaking down the matches of the day. You guys, you don't want to miss that one whatsoever. I want to hear as well, in particular, what Decay was thinking about this match, as well as this team's chances in the future as well. So that should be a lovely interview. We'll see you in just a few minutes, so don't go anywhere. We'll be back in just a few.
Welcome to the Watchpoint Post Show. We're joined now by Decay from Washington Justice. Decay, congratulations on the win today. Decay 선수, 오늘 승리 너무나도 축하드립니다.
감사합니다.
Alright, let's get started with this interview. So, you guys had a rough time in the Countdown Cup so far, but today you guys seem like you guys were coming back alive and you guys were able to turn things around. What changed today? 오늘 일단 이번 카운트다운 컵에 들어오면서 쉽게 말씀을 드리자면 어떻게 보면 워싱턴이 그렇게 굉장히 좀 힘들어하는 모습을 많이 보여줬던 것 같아요. 특히나 이번 카운트다운 컵을 들어오면서 하지만 오늘은 승리를 거두셨기 때문에 좀 특별하게 뭐가 바뀐 게 있나요 오늘?
저번 3경기는 좀 저희가 플레이오프 진출까지 좀 보고 있어가지고 좀 지면은 안 된다는 그 긴장감 때문에 좀 제 플레이가 안 나온 것 같고, 이번에는 이제 플레이인이 확정됐으니까 이제 좀 연습대로만 하자라는 마인드로 해가지고 좀 잘 된 것 같아요.
Alright, I think the prior 3 matches for the Countdown Cup, we really wanted to get into the playoffs, so I think there were some nerves involved. We were pretty nervous when it came to our match days and when we were in the games, and I think that is why that sort of got the better of us, and hence we lost those 3 games. But for today, we knew that we were in the season play-in, so we just thought we should just play how we practiced, and that is why we got the win. All right, let's move on to the second question. Washington, like you said, unfortunately won't be in for the Countdown Cup knockout rounds. However, you guys are in. You guys secured a spot for the season play-ins. What are you guys going to do in the weeks leading into the play-ins? How are you going? Is there something that you guys are specifically practicing for? 자, 두 번째 질문은 아까도 말씀드렸지만 이제 아쉽게도 이제 카운트다운컵의 이제 그 노카웃전에는 탈락을 하셨지만 그래도 시즌 플레이인 토너먼트에는 이제 들어가시게 되셨는데 그동안 이제 좀 어느 정도 텀이 있는데 이 텀 동안 좀 어떻게 무엇을 좀 연습을 하고 좀 어떻게 준비를 하실 것 같나요?
일단 저희 마인드를 좀 바꿔야 될 것 같아요. 이번에 좀 경기하면서 좀 긴장하고 대회라서 잘해야 된다는 그런 강박 때문에 좀 잘 안 됐던 것 같은데, 그냥 스크림처럼만 하면은 이제 전 잘 될 수 있다 생각해서 그런 마인드로 하려고 지금 노력 중입니다.
I think the weeks leading into the play-ins, I think the most important thing is we have to really change our mindsets. We were in the Countdown Cup, we were really nervous and we had this burden that we had to perform. We have to do really well in all of our matches. So I think we just have to not think about that and change our mindset to where we should play on the match days on how we scrim. So using just performing on or just doing everything that we did in scrims and just moving that into our match days. So changing our mindset is our top priority going into the play-ins for the season. All right, with that being said, that is it for the interview. Decay, thank you so much and congratulations on the win again. 자, 이걸로 인터뷰를 마치겠고요. 오늘 수고 너무나도 많으셨습니다.
네, 감사합니다.
All right, thank you so much. Let's head back to the desk.
Thanks a bunch, DK, and of course a huge congratulations to the Washington Justice who take the W. Now, yeah, they finally woke up and got that win. It's not enough, of course, to make it to the knockouts, as you said, Danny, but they have secured their spot in the play-ins, which is huge. And DK just seemed to have enough of the shenanigans. He just came alive. Like, he went full raid boss mode, and he's been a slippery eel whilst doing so. It was so hard to actually kill him. He had so few deaths and so many limbs. I don't envy the Vancouver Titans, who I believe did provide some breadsticks for their people, but that's about it.
Yeah, I mean, if you're looking at the Washington Justice and how they played today, I do think that they brought a different vibe to the table compared to some of the other matches. They weren't perfect by any means, the Washington Justice. I wouldn't say they completely fulfilled their potential. There were some engagements that were a bit off. Sideshow mentioned sometimes they would go each their own direction and engage on different people at the same time. Assassin still struggles to get full value from his EMP. But what Decay really hit on in the interview with Danny as well was that they're trying to emulate how they are playing in scrims, and that means being aggressive, making offensive mistakes rather than doing defensive mistakes, like holding on to EMP for too long, or waiting around for the perfect EMP for too long, or not wanting to commit and die at all. I feel like the Washington Justice, yes, the Vancouver Titans, they are not the strongest opponents. I mean, they're 1-13, right? But the Washington Justice, it felt like they brought a different look to the table and they played with slightly more confidence. And for Decay, that's always going to work out. But for the rest of the team as well, it did feel like they're finally, as we head into play-ins coming soon, which they qualified for. I think they're qualified for anyway. It feels like the Washington Justice are to some degree turning it up, and maybe now some momentum they could build on.
It's so hard though. It's so hard to judge it by a game like that. As you said, I mean, the Vancouver Titans are now 1-13, right? So winning against them, like 12 other teams have done it too. So you're not going to call home about that. I'm not going to throw you a parade for this victory, as that is kind of like the bare minimum you have to achieve. More so if you have a team like the Washington Justice. How much can they get done in those play-ins, Costa?
Well, the thing is, I don't ever want to count Decay out in the playoffs. We saw what he did last year when Washington Justice picked him up at the last second and they went for a crazy run. Didn't they finish third or something like that last year? It was a crazy run, but they do have the talent, and we'll never keep shouting that from the roofs, because they are. And I think it needs to start with the veterans of just putting on a great performance, and this match was a great example of that. We saw Fury, Decay, and Bebe really step up. Obviously, we had the rookies in Assassin and Mag, and I think a root of a lot of their issues so far in the Countdown Cup. They need to play well, and I think they all did in this match. They just need to keep that momentum, because, as Decay just said in his interview, emulating what you're doing in scrims, playing with that confidence, playing with that, I guess, freedom of mind in a match is very hard to accomplish when you're on that stage when it all matters. So if we can see that from them in the playoffs, I don't think they can win. They're not going to turn around their season at the drop of a hat, but they can do a more respectable performance, because we just predicted the Vancouver Titans over the Washington Justice without hesitation. That's how poor they have been in the Countdown Cup. If they can do any better than that, I think that's a good look, at least for them moving into the next season, because, you know, it's one of those things of, yes, you want to perform as well as you can in this season, but a lot of these guys, if they keep underperforming, they're going to look at next season and be like, what do we need to overhaul in this roster?
Yeah, I mean, some people actually came at us as well for that. Like, how can you predict the Vancouver over the Washington? Like, have you watched Washington play recently? Like, it's... I mean, that was an on-night running
come at me, so...
Yeah, they're going to go at you no matter what you say.
Exactly. I mean, that's just the life we're living at that point. But I'm just saying, like, this was not us being disrespectful for the Washington Justice. This was just purely based on recent performances, and that made it really, really, really hard to believe in them unless you're Reinforced, who just never lost faith. Bless you.
I did lose faith. I mean, I can't honestly.
I get that.
I cannot tell you why I predicted Washington Justice. That tells you how much confidence I had in this Washington team. So, you know, I'm not going to say this was the best showing of Washington ever. You know, I got lucky, I guess. It's fine.
Yeah, I mean, that's how all our pick'ems go, isn't it? Because we never really know how the teams are showing up. Now, Atlanta was another team playing today. They played their last match and they ended on a high note. They sorted to a perfect 4-0 on the wings of Pelican. There we go. Brought it in again. I just can't be stopped. But yeah, his Pharah play was phenomenal. So was his Tracer play. He can do it all. There was also some Genji moments. I don't know if we really need to relive them, but you know, like, Pelican is just very, very talented, and their team has been looking really, really good, very flexible, and just very stable this Countdown Cup.
I'm telling you, if you keep building in more of these bird references, I'm going to need a different kind of flight after the broadcast. That
was a good one. That was good one. All right, Johnny, I have a serious question for you about this. Do you think Atlanta Reign are the favorites heading into the Countdown Cup playoffs? Like, as we get there, they're 4-0. Obviously, we haven't seen all the teams play all their matches yet, but for right now, no, overall, do you think that the Atlanta Reign will have the edge over the East, even though, you know, last time we saw them play in a similar meta, they did get beat?
It depends on if their flight gets delayed or not again. Because honestly, with the way they're playing, with the confidence they showed in this matchup, I mean, there was one scenario where we saw Masa flank with Pelican on the Tracer, just to like shield bash Sparkle to make sure they could get the pick on the Tracer. I mean, there are things like that they just go out of their way with confidence to make plays. There are things like Pelican turning fights around where they're a man at disadvantage and clutching up like this in this very Tracer duel against Sparkle to win the game. These are the things we didn't really see from Atlanta Reign earlier on this season. And I'm not saying that as like a disrespectful kind of thing, or like they should have done this before, but it's like that's the final 10% you add on top of your already really good game when you're just loose, when you're having fun, when you're playing with confidence, and you know that you can clutch up scenarios like this. That's what we remember the San Francisco Shock for, because they can always turn a fight. That's why they always invest the ultimates, because they truly believe they can accomplish that. Atlanta Reign in the Countdown Cup, I feel like they've added that final 10%. I don't know if they're the favorites. I would probably want to see more from Chengdu Hunters because they have 2 more qualifying games. We've only seen 2 matches from them. But I think that Chengdu in the current meta, knowing what Wrecking Ball can do in this current potential of his, I want to see more from Chengdu Hunters. But Atlanta Reign, they're looking like a top 2 team at this point. Probably the best in North America, probably the second best in the world to me.
What about if we're looking at compositions they're playing? Can they go beak to beak with the other teams from the East?
Oh my god, no. I think they'll get rolled by the 8 tech teams.
Really? You still believe that they?
No, I just made a Wrecking Ball reference.
Well,
I don't truly believe that.
We're going bird to Wrecking Ball. Okay.
Oh my lord.
Wait, guys, do you guys want to hear a quick, cute story about Pelican? It's nothing to do with gameplay, but before the interview, I was going over the questions with him. He was like, I kind of want to do a little trash talk. And I was like, hey, if you feel comfortable, do it. And then for like, we had 30 seconds left, and he just went back and forth. Oh no, I can't do it. No, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it. What should I do it now? And then the trash talk that he decided to do was, Dialet's is a little bad. It wasn't even like really bad. It was like, yeah, they're a little bad, not that bad, but a little bad. Wow. So I thought that was
I heard worse trash talks, to be honest. I mean,
right?
Definitely seen worse, heard worse. So he dipped a wing in the water. I can appreciate that.
Oh wow! So
I'm unstoppable. What can I say? Anyway, I want to discuss more matches since there were plenty more to talk about. Florida, they found their first victory since week 6. Can you believe that? Yeah, they were snapping an 8-match losing streak today, and with today's loss, the Uprising actually fall to 1-3 in the Countdown Cup, meaning that they will not make the knockouts either. How are we feeling about Florida Mayhem's return to quote-unquote glory?
This is another case, just like the match against the Vancouver Titans. I don't think Boston have been very good in this Countdown Cup. They've had some moments, but for the most part, they have been one of the weaker teams that we have. So I'm not singing my praises for the Florida Mayhem just yet. They did look good. OG looks to be back in form, playing with a bit of that confidence. And then BQB and Yaki, you can never count these guys out. BQB on this Hangzhou, not only was he just hitting shots, every single one of his Dragon Strikes, I think I was like, oh my god, that was such a good Dragon Strike because of his positioning and then how everyone else is playing around that as well. So they can keep tapping into that. The sky is the limit for them, but I don't even know if the fate is 100% in their hands at this point. They need a couple of teams to lose. Boston Uprising is another one. Toronto Defiant. All they can do is win every match from here, and they have a brutal schedule. We watched it. We had a look at it earlier this morning. They play next weekend against the Houston Outlaws and the Los Angeles Gladiators, 2 teams that are going to be very strong in this meta. So good luck, I guess, if you're a Florida fan, but at least it's looking better than the 0-8 that we've seen from them lately.
That said, though, I think they could be someone like the Houston Outlaws. Not the Gladiators necessarily, because Gladiators to me, they're like a top 3 team at this point. They love playing dive. Dive seems to work for the Gladiators. But the Houston Outlaws, they look a bit vulnerable. Yes, they got a win in week 1, of course, being able to play this Tracer Sombra composition or the Soldier Tracer composition at a very high level. But the Florida Mayhem, with what they displayed to us today against the Boston Uprising and playing the Atlanta Reign in 5 maps, yes, they like to play their slower composition, but Houston, they haven't shown us that they want to play Pharah yet, which is the counter to that. So Florida Mayhem, despite the fact that on paper it looks like a really difficult schedule, I could see them winning against the Houston Outlaws, and maybe an upset win against the Gladiators is in the cards if momentum is on your side.
Well, let's actually take a look at the updated season standings to just get a better idea, once again, visualized where we're at currently here in the Western region. Because after today, it's Paris, Boston, and Florida fighting for that final for these final 2 play-in spots, rather. Mayhem going to need some magic, as we discussed. Which one, like, just hands down, which one do you guys think is the most likely to secure those 2 spots, and who is going to get left out?
I would be surprised. I would be surprised if Paris went 0-2 and also had just a tragic map record in the next weekend. I think it's all in Florida Mayhem's hands. Boston Uprising doesn't have any matches left in this tournament, so Florida, it's honestly on Florida. They can't even get a great map score. They just need to win the next 2 matches. Really, I don't see Paris really dropping the ball for if you are.
And the thing is as well, even if they win and get to 7 league points, because of the differential we talked about in the pre-show, that the second metric you look at after league points is regular season wins. Even if they win 1 more match, they're at 7 league points with Boston and Paris, but they're missing that 1 regular season win, which is our second tiebreaker. So realistically, they need to win both matches to get in here.
Rough. Man.
Tough.
Well, that keeps it exciting for us heading into next week, of course, because you don't want to head into the last week of your regular season and everything's already decided, right? Like, you need those clutch moments to really come through, and that's exactly what we're getting. Thanks again to our script writers. Now, it is time to take a look at our predictions and how we fared. Clearly, we're not reading the script most of the times, and that's why we're failing. Sometimes this one, the last one was just. I think they left that one blank, though, to be perfectly honest. That was a blank one. Reinforced, catching up. Let's take a look at our standings.
Let's go.
That's
just 6 away from Costa.
Just 6 away. Everything's possible. Costa, how confident are you that you... I love you, Dan. No, consistency is key. Costa, can you keep it up?
There you go.
Are you going to get bold?
I was so far ahead. Like, last weekend, at the start of last weekend, and then you caught me by like 3 points. So it sort of highlighted that I'm not safe at all. I could be caught up to at any point. So I got to keep my head in the game. Maybe predict Washington a little bit more.
In my eyes, Costa, you're pretty safe.
Yeah, I mean, Danny, when I said I was worried, don't take this the wrong way. Wasn't worried about you, more from Zoe. Sorry, man.
We'll see. Hey, I'm consistent. That's fine. I don't know what that means, but yes, I'm consistent.
Consistency again is key. I'm worried that I'm just gonna, drop the ball somewhere and then just go crazy. It might happen. I don't know, 1 coffee too many in the morning, and I go wild with my pickings. So I just gotta keep it clean. We're gonna head into a very quick break, and afterwards we're gonna give you our best moments of the day. After this.
Yes. Best of the day.
Welcome to the Watchpoint post show. It's always the host.
You couldn't do it, could you,
Johnny?
Johnny?
They're all
Okay,
here.
I see.
We got some best of the day moments for you. Let's get into it.
Okay, he wants to take away my awkward 3-second
Wow.
silence to make my producer uncomfortable. Thank you, Jonathan. This is why we can't have nice things. However, there were a lot of nice things to be had today, and those we're gonna display in our best of the day. I'm gonna start this one off, and you know, some Pellies can't, but this Pelly can, because he clutched it out.
Wow.
World. I
Zoe's
think
on
that
fire
was my
today.
best one.
That's pretty good. Yeah, that was
Thank
pretty
you,
good.
thank you. This was also pretty good. I mean, who would have thought, right? He just took Sparkle for a walk right there in that Tracer 1v1 to win it all. A great end to a great series for him.
Oh yeah, he
Yeah,
was so good.
Oh my, he was so good.
My favorite thing was the pop off. Well, I don't think we have it here, but he popped off when he killed Sparkle and Recall. Like he knew he had won the game.
Yeah.
That's a great feeling. It's sick.
All right, I'm gonna continue on this Pelican hype train because my best of the day is also Pelly definitely canned. That did not work. I'm not gonna try.
It's alright.
Yeah, Pelican's Pharaoh is also great too. And yeah, I can't think of anything, so I'm just gonna say, yeah, he's. I mean, yeah, I think oh my god, him on Pharaoh today was just amazing to watch. I think he got a 4K here, gets 2 accurate shots, and then he melees the Ana and then gets another kill. Let's just watch it again.
Let's just
So
watch.
clean, and very, very clean. See, direct hit, boom, boom, goes down, shoots,
Boom, boom.
and then he's like, okay, no, I'm just gonna punch you. Bam.
Yeah, that's some real aggression.
Turns
You
around.
don't want to ruffle his feathers,
Yep.
man. Like, don't make that one angry.
Um,
It's a bottomless pit, Costa.
Costa, Costa, I can't. I've had enough.
It's okay. Just get through it, Johnny. We can get through it. Just power our way through it. Okay, I won't make a pun. Okay, let's go to my best of the day. We're gonna have Doha sort of helping out his fellow supports because, you know, as a Mercy, sometimes you take the risk to res your teammates and, you know, no one protects you. Pelican was waiting for the res attempt, but Doha making a statement, barraging Pelican to say that this is in their spawn, by the way. So look at this. Why Farah's never used to do this for me? Agilities, if you're out there, why did you never barrage for me on the res? So I don't know. I respect the camaraderie between the Farah and Mercy.
It's 99%, so, you know, he's just trying to secure the kill so they can go to the point and maybe cap it out. Well,
Stay away from my supports.
Yeah, exactly. Supports are important too, Johnny.
Not relatable, but I love it.
Yeah.
Something that is relatable is BQB getting a 5k Dragon Strike. I mean, I do this all the time in rank. This is how I do it. When I pick Hangzhou in Platinum, this is exactly how it goes down. Amazing pull from OG. The Immortality feel this out, but they're all so low. Look at the health bars.
Oh.
And finally, it snaps. Bam! And they're all...
They're just like,
I love this.
Wow.
I love this.
This is what made the photo Mayhem good, right? Like this, they did this time and time again. BQB's Dragons, just like always getting value with OG's full. So. Yeah. So Johnny, if you could upload that clip to Twitter, so I could have a look at that one of you doing that, I'd love to see it. Yeah.
Yeah.
You'll get that one for me.
Yeah.
All right, sweet.
Sure.
That's great. Looking forward to it.
Okay, I see you in a custom game. I'll stand still, reinforce. Yeah. We can emulate this.
We'll help.
No
we'll help.
We'll help you.
Oh no!
Well, I think that's it, right? We didn't. Yeah.
That's
no,
us.
we all.
Do we have anything else?
But
Doing good?
I mean, my best of the day is start of the morning. First time I hear all of your voices, it just makes me happy. Ending on a wholesome note. That's right.
That's a lie.
Well, we also want to take a look at the Countdown Cup standings after week 2 once again because we love graphics. We love standings.
Standings.
You can really
standings.
tell that we're bringing it home here in the last few days here in the Overwatch League regular season. This is where we are currently for the Countdown Cup. Of course, no surprise, Atlanta Reign is qualifying with a 4-0. Great map differential as well, so they really put in the work. Now, Toronto Defiant sitting high on top, which may be a surprise to some people, but still there's plenty of teams which haven't played as many games yet.
Yeah, and Toronto did have an easy schedule. Obviously, they won the games they needed to win, but yeah, we'll be interested to see how they do next weekend. Is this going to be a consistent theme of them getting the wins? I hope so. It's interesting. We do next weekend as well have the Bread Bowl between the Vancouver Titans and the London Spitfire. It is a little tainted because Vancouver decided to be selfish and get a match win. But, you know, congrats to them, and I'm sure it'll be a great match nonetheless.
Can we have a... No, I'm not going to say it. Never mind, I'm going to say it.
No,
Say it.
don't.
No, I'm not going to say it.
Don't.
Do it.
Say it.
I gotta tweet it.
Okay.
That's way
Can you
better.
say it and then tweet it?
No, I was just wondering if we can maybe, like, you know, before the grand finals, if we can have like a, you know, like a show match between London and Valiant.
Valiant.
Just because if anything, I don't want to have two. I don't
I would
want
watch
to have two
it.
teams going winless. I want to.
Yeah.
Just
So
one
rude.
actually.
It really is.
That's rude.
Hey,
I
you guys
think
are so
each
bad.
team
I want to see you
another-
battle it out.
No, we didn't say they were bad. You know, I think they will
No,
make
I
it
just want to give
too.
them
You know?
an
Danny!
opportunity.
Who? I mean, if
Be
you're
honest.
winless, wouldn't you take the chance to at least beat a team? If I was a
Also-
player, I would do that. You know.
Then it's clearly
okay.
they're going up against an opponent who, like, you know, isn't the Shanghai Dragons. Going up against the Shanghai Dragons, if you're at the bottom, is probably not as fun, right? Like, I want to see them playing a close match to see the potential.
Honestly, I'm pretty sure Valiant's like, oh, we're better, and London's probably like, no, we're better. So
Right,
it
those two
sort of
guys,
works out.
Danny, I don't think they're buying into this being like meant well. And now I start to feel like it was rude, so maybe we just
It's
want
fine,
to move
sorry.
on.
It's-
No, it's
you know,
fine.
It would be good.
it's fine. I meant well. I just all
Yeah.
for the entertainment. Anyway, we have no more things to show you, no more things to talk about, no more matches.
There's a bird reference
are
here. Just
going
zoom
down.
out before
it's
it gets
coming.
It's gonna come.
I
It's,
feel it.
it's coming,
Zoom out.
guys. Wait for
Just
it.
zoom out
Wait for it.
before it
Zoom
comes.
out. Get
Wait
me
for
out of
it.
here. I don't want to hear
No,
another
wait.
one.
Do it.
Producers,
So
get me
you
out of
just
here.
you went ham today. Just go. Just one last one.
No,
One last one. Let's go.
There it is.
this is too much pressure. I can't do it.
Hide from the bird
Come on.
references.
Time out.
No.
I'm not doing it. It's too easy.